And the fader goes down, the voice goes up. Hello, this is Justin Comer. This is iHearIC Radio, episode 134. This is a show about the Iowa City local music scene. That's what it's mostly about, anyway. Sometimes I deviate from the main concept, but in recent months, I've been doing a monthly interview with people that I know. And right now I've got a person that I know here in my living room sitting on my couch facing me. I've got Myles Evangelista. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming over.
Absolutely.
And people should know Myles is a very generous, nice friend. He brought a 12-pack of Mountain Dew Zero over to my house because he knew I would like to drink it. So let that be a lesson to all my friends.
I feel like that's the least I can offer as a guest in somebody else's home, and also as someone whose belongings are mostly not in this city anymore. So.
Right, yeah, that's something that I definitely want to talk about with you. But for anyone who maybe does not know Myles is the voice and the mind behind the band Myles Evangelista, which did you start that out as a solo thing?
I did,
okay, yeah. So it's sort of like an alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
my
then,
Hannah Montana, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're also the vocalist for Two Canes. You were just telling me that you do some harmony vocals on the upcoming Early Girl EP. That's not out yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay,
I think it's coming out first Friday of August. But okay, yeah, I did some background vocals and harmonies on that for Aaron of Early Girl, who is a dear friend of mine. So I'm waiting very impatiently for it to drop in, officially.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have listened to it. Aaron and Matthew were sitting right where you're sitting a couple months ago. So
my gosh.
We got to play a little bit of that EP before it came out.
Incredible.
Here on this show. Anything else that people might know you from in the area? I know you're a very active musician, but what else you got going on besides Mars and Two Canes?
I guess in civilian mode. I've been
Tell us about your daily life also.
I mean, I've been a student at the university for the last 5 years, which is how I ended up here. I grew up originally in Peoria, Illinois, middle of the state, came here to study biomedical engineering. And so it's always been really interesting, either telling music people what my major is or telling people in my major what I do in my free time, because they're like, oh, wow, I wouldn't have expected that from you. And either way, I don't know how to respond.
Yeah, people don't expect anything of you.
No.
You're sort of two people, I think. Like some people know you as one person and then other people know you as the other person. Much like Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Good.
It's really difficult to tell me apart from Hannah Montana, actually.
Yeah, I've never seen you and you in the same room.
What they're not telling you is that the Disney star Hannah Montana is actually a 5'5" Filipino man.
Yeah, it's a great disguise. Yeah, when you said Peoria, I remembered I was going to read this. You recently performed at the Pride Festival in Peoria. And they have a really nice bio of you. Do you mind if I read that?
I'll go ahead.
I saw it on your Facebook. Okay, Myles Evangelista, Peoria-born scientist and musician. Oh, and then they spelled your name wrong.
I didn't even notice.
Is a recent graduate school graduate, having just completed a dual BSE and MS in biomedical engineering at the University of Iowa. You were just saying that, but
yes.
BSE, that would be Bachelor of Science
and Engineering,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then MS, of course, Masters of Science. In addition to being a rock star scientist, Myles is also a rock star musician. He plays guitar and serenades fans as his pop rock alias, Myles Evangelista, or screams over the dueling guitars of post-punk band Two Canes. So it's basically just like exactly what we just talked about.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like well-written and well-crafted, a shorter little 2-paragraph bio.
Yeah.
So the name Myles Evangelista, is there anything, like, what's the meaning behind that, aside from being, like, kind of similar to your real name?
Right. So Ohilia is an homage to my Filipino heritage because it is my middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of Filipino tradition for like the middle name of the child to be the maiden name of the mother.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's a shout out to my mom's side of the family. And Mars is how the cashier at the Arby's at the I-80 truck stop misheard my actual first name when I gave it to him.
Oh, okay.
It was really shortly after I started going by Myles, and I was moving back into the dorms. It was like the fall semester after fall of 2020. So
Okay.
like after the initial onset of the pandemic.
Right. Which turned you into Myles.
Yeah,
somehow.
I guess so. I got COVID and now I'm trans is what happened. But
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, I've heard a few cases of this happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
beware, this could also be your fate.
It's a rare side effect.
But yeah, I was driving up. My parents were helping me move back into the dorms. From Peoria to Iowa City, we stopped at the world's largest truck stop in Walcott, and I was ordering my lunch or something, and they were like, "Oh, can we have a name for your order?" And I said Myles, which was the first time that I had just like given a stranger my name publicly.
Nice.
And the cashier said, "Oh my gosh, Mars? That's such a cool name." And I was like, like, like that's not like, no, it's actually Myles. But in the back of my head, I was like, Mars is a really,
cool.
really cool name. Like, I was like, there's still time.
Right. Yeah. You could
If I wanted
pick
to,
Mars.
but I didn't end up taking it as my legal name, but I knew that I wanted to use it eventually. So I just made it as part of my, my alter ego once the opportunity arose.
Yeah. That's an awesome origin story. Never asked you about that before, so I'm glad I did now.
Yeah. And maybe down the line, I can bully Arby's for a sponsorship.
Yeah. Good idea. Yeah.
Curly fries for days.
Shout out to the Arby's cashier at the world's largest truck stop. Maybe you can answer this question. Maybe just an estimate. But how many times, since you grew up in Illinois, you went to school here, how many times do you think you have visited the world's largest truck stop?
Countless times. Oh, I don't even know if I can estimate that. I think like minimum like 40.
Yeah.
But,
I think when I'm going in that direction, I think I stop more times than I don't when I'm passing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've actually filled up on gas there more than a handful of times, but there's so many other attractions.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen like cause I know they have a museum over there. I haven't been to the museum. I'm only there most of the time just to like, I'll fill up on gas and maybe get like Arby's or Taco Bell or something and then be on my merry way.
Yeah. I go in for the Taco Bell. I stay for a little bit looking at all of the like stickers and patches.
Oh yeah.
With like,
the world's largest truck stop merch.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of like really aggressive sort of like ex-military pride badges.
Ex-military pride?
Yeah. Like, I'm a strong former Marine, that kind of thing. I have strong opinions about guns. Those kind of like patches.
And thank God that all of that is available at the world's largest truck stop, because that's the first thing I think of when I hear the world's largest truck stop is ex-Marines.
Yeah. There's usually like a ghillie suit set up near one of the entrances as well. You know about ghillie suits?
That's like kind of like a Swamp Thing disguise.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was going to say. Swamp Thing costume. All right. So I've got some of your music pulled up here.
Okay.
Maybe we should start with something you've already released, something that people can find for themselves on the streaming services and stuff. On the Myles Evangelista Bandcamp, which is at marsohillia.bandcamp.com. Ohilia, I'm probably going to put that as the title of the episode, but if you need to know how to spell it, Hojilla, Ohilia. You've got Kiss Your Boys and Pinocchio up here. Which one of those do you think we should start with?
Either way, between the two, it will, like one after the other will elicit emotional whiplash in some shape or form. So I think we'll start high energy. Let's start with Kiss Your Boys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a little more upbeat.
Yeah.
All right, we'll listen to Kiss Your Boys by Myles Evangelista, which, let's see, you released this initially in February of this year, so just a few months ago. All right, let's listen to that, and then we can talk about sort of where it came from. I think the lyrics kind of really explain the story pretty well, but we'll get a little more information after we listen.
Justifications, or you willing to take the
listen to that ring out. That was Kiss Your Boys by Myles Evangelista. All right, let's talk about that song.
For sure.
It's about being cheated on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a true story?
It is a true story. I wrote it, I think 3 or 4 months after I had broken up with my high school sweetheart. I went to Catholic high school.
Ooh, I bet that was fun.
It was really formative to me as a person. it was a big character builder for me, which is about all the good that I can say about that.
Yeah.
But,
Very diplomatic of you.
I was one of like very few like out students.
So you were out in high school.
I was out as a lesbian in high school.
Gotcha.
I didn't come out as trans until I was in college already.
Yeah.
But I was, for a lot of the people around me who were my age, I was like often one of the first like queer people that they met in real life.
Yeah.
But I had started dating Miss Kiss Your Boys the summer before our senior year of high school, and then afterwards we both went to college in different states, and we were like, let's try the long distance thing, which can work sometimes for some folks. It did not work for us. It was a situation in which her outlook was like, oh, I'm not like actually seriously crushing on any of these boys that I'm kissing. I'm just using them to get free drinks at the bar.
Okay.
When we were 19. And I said, okay, girl boss, that's cool. Until it stopped being just like a zero emotional attachment type thing.
Sure.
On top of that, I remember she had also made a comment towards the end of when we were dating. I started identifying as non-binary and presenting more androgynous or masculine. And she had made a comment about like how sometime before she exited this earth, she wanted to date like a man or like a boy or something. And I said like, oh, if you just like give it a year or two, like maybe, maybe I'll do that. And she said, no, I mean like a
gotcha.
Guy,
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
And that didn't sit too well with me. So when...
Yeah, I mean, what could be more perfect? You're already in a relationship with someone.
Exactly.
They're, transitioning to becoming more masculine. Like,
right.
You get...
if you just...
That's the easiest path to dating a man.
You're willing to play the long game, just like give it a few years. But no. Just like that comment and a few of the other things that she didn't really like sit well with me. But I also was trying to like do the diplomatic thing and like, oh, like we'll be nice, like we'll be friends, like towards the end of it, until I started like telling friends about like the situation and them being like, no, Myles, that's not how a relationship is supposed to go normally. And then it took a few months after we had broken up. I was like, no, that's not how a relationship is supposed to go. What was I doing? And so, the song Kiss Your Boys was created when I like finally allowed myself to be angry about the mistreatment. And, she used to, cause I was also making music with a different band in high school, and she used to be like, very supportive of that project as well, and the other music that I was making. So who's to say now if she has heard the song and if she has thoughts, I'm not really in contact with her anymore. So however she feels, good for her. I don't need to know about it.
I mean, it doesn't come across as like a very mean song. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Like you're clearly angry. You're hurt by this situation, but you're not like, I mean, it doesn't come across as like vindictive or anything.
Okay. Yeah. That was about, I think that's about how I was feeling when I was writing. It's just like, oh, I don't feel too good.
Yeah.
Why did this thing happen?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And then I stretched that out into 4.5 minutes.
Yeah. I think that, when it comes to a being cheated on song, you could have gone in a much worse direction. Could have
gone, full like Carrie Underwood before he cheats type, slashing tires and things.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a female empowerment song. Yeah. In a way.
I agree. That's girl boss behavior.
That's just good fun. That song.
Exactly.
So this guy has come up a lot in recent months on this little chat program. You recorded this with Dan Miller.
Yes.
Out at the Vault, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How was working with Dan?
He's great. He's really like, just as a person, he's super chill. He's super laid back. And so it's really easy to work with him. I think the main thing is just like, I'll come in and I'll have like a really solid idea of like, here's what I want to do with this stuff. And he's like, you got it. And so we'll just, we'll record all the tracks. And, yeah, I guess in more recent visits to the studio, there have been instances where I don't really know what I want or like how to get it to a place where I want it, or how to get the song to how I want it to sound eventually.
You need a little more hands-on production. Yeah.
And so, even like in those instances, it's just been really good to bounce ideas back and forth with them and see like, you know, how his brain works. He's like, oh, we could try this thing which sounds similar to this song that I like, and then we'll play it and I'll listen to it and I'll be like, yeah, we could like try some of that, or be like, that's not really what I'm going for. But he's just really easy to work with. Really just like, I don't know. I don't understand how his brain works, but I'm so impressed by it every single time.
Yeah, Dan's awesome. Very, very proud to know Dan. He's a fellow Cedar Rapids boy.
Word.
Yeah, so, you know, he's one of our best.
Awesome.
And who else played on that track with you?
Right. So on that track, we've got Chloe Weidel on the drums. I met her through Scope Productions.
Okay, yeah.
Which I was a part of for all 4 years of my undergrad, but she had joined our senior year, and I just happened to know that she was a drummer. It was interesting. In the month before we met in Scope Productions, suddenly all of my mutual friends were talking about her to me. And so like one of my buddies who was in the marching band with me was also like in like the classics program at the university and had studied abroad in Greece for a few weeks of the summer. And he was telling me like, oh, there's this girl who went on the trip with us who's like really into the music scene. Do you know Chloe Weidel? And I was like, no, I don't, but that's super cool. Like, I'll keep an eye out. And then like literally a week or two before she joined Scope, I had a couple folks being like, oh, Scope's putting on this show. Like, I'll invite Chloe Weidel over here. Myles, do you know her? Like, she's in the music scene. I was like, well, now at this point, I feel like I should. You know, what's going on here? But,
yeah, she was blown up.
Yeah. But
everyone loves Chloe.
Everyone does, truly. She's a hot commodity as far as drummers go. She's in high demand.
Yeah, I've seen her play with several bands. Yeah, but she's so good at what she does. And so when the time came for Myles Evangelista got the offer to play at Mission Creek in 2023. Right.
That
we were on the radio together.
Yeah. I was gonna say at the beginning, like, oh, this is the first time that I've been on the radio with Justin since 2023. Mission Creek.
It's been like a year and a couple months.
Yeah. But when I first got the offer to play, I didn't have any music out yet. I didn't have a band formed. But when the invitation came, I was like, oh, I had to beef up my live sound a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I immediately had in mind Chloe Weidel on the drums and Paris Basuk on the bass. Paris, I don't remember how we met initially. I think they were friends with like an old roommate of mine. And so they were in my house, every so often, but I knew that they played in the bass studio at Voxman. And so I reached out.
And you knew from their last name that they're a bassist, right?
Oh yeah, it's written right in there. It was really convenient how that worked. Really solid branding on their part. But yeah, they had been a friend of mine already, and so I reached out to them asking if they would be willing to play bass in my live band. And at first they were a little nervous about it because they had only played bass in like a classical setting.
Sure, yeah.
But I had full confidence in their abilities because they are a very talented bass player. A classical bassist can probably play an electric bass. Absolutely. But yeah, so they were my live band for most of the trio shows that we played in 2022 and the first half of 2023. And they also recorded on the two singles that are out already.
Right. And I do have the other single pulled up here. And you mentioned going to a Catholic school.
Yes.
Right. And I kind of know what this song Pinocchio is about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily want to like dig up any trauma or anything, but
no.
I can't imagine that, it was like that easy for you to be like one of the few out, queer people at this school.
No, yeah. I think for a while, it wasn't too hard when we were like, young kids, because the kind of bigotry and transphobia, those kinds of things are taught. Those are inherited.
Sure.
And,
well, I guess, how young were you when you kind of like knew this about yourself?
Oh, I came out of the womb liking women.
Okay.
Like my sister, my older sister, she likes to tell this story about how, I came home from my first day of like preschool or pre-K, also at the local Catholic school. And my parents were asking me like, "Oh, Myles, like, how did it go? Like, did you have fun?" And the first thing that I thought to tell them was like, "Oh, I made a friend with like this new girl and we're friends and it's so nice, but I want her to be my girlfriend."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And so my parents are like, "Sweetie, do you mean a friend, right? Like she's a girl and like you want her to be your friend?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that, but I also want to kiss her on the mouth." Which should have only caused a ruckus because I was 4 years
you're
old.
too young to be doing any of that.
Yeah. But, I think I knew, and everyone kind of had a sense that that was how it was going to be. I grew up a tomboy, never really got into like, I guess things that stereotypical like little girls would like to get into.
Sure.
I got so angry that my hair was long and getting into my eyes that I cut myself a bowl cut at 3 years old.
Whoa.
I did. And then I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then I realized that I'm going to get in so much trouble. So I like piled together all of the hair that I had cut off my head and I hid it under like a coloring book. And then I hid the coloring book under one of my like 3-year-old sized chairs. And then I hid myself under the dining room table and just waited.
Just wait for the hair to grow back.
Oh yeah. But I knew, and everyone kind of had a sense. But when you're really young, it's like cute. It's like, oh, they're kids, they don't know any better. But then when I kept insisting like, no, this is like this is how I'm feeling and this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I think at some point, like, I'm not sure at what point, but it stops being cute to the adults. So then, yeah, it was a little bit of social pressure from like when the, like my classmates around me were also kind of learning like what's socially acceptable, a socially acceptable way to present and what isn't. Things like that. And also just going to Catholic school and having like very God-fearing like instructors and like the parish priests around saying like, no, this, having short hair and liking women is actually dooming your 11-year-old mortal soul.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen,
which is just you got to teach them because these 11-year-olds they don't get it.
Exactly.
They don't get how dangerous it is.
Exactly. It really makes me wonder exactly how many 11-year-olds that they sent into like full existential crisis, but they did at least catch me. So I think it wasn't a problem until I was like being kind of taught that kind of brand of Catholic shame.
Right.
And to be like 11 and 12 years old and kind of weigh my options of like, oh, but this is a quality about myself that I can't change versus the potential of an afterlife that could be like up to like 80 years down the line. I'm like 11 years old wondering about where my soul is going to end up.
Right.
And so eventually it came down to like, okay, either I can continue to shame myself for an inherent quality about myself, or I can do literally anything else. And so that was how I, set into motion my schism from the Catholic Church.
I was gonna maybe go in that direction, but I didn't want to necessarily
no, that's
force
all right.
you to answer if you are still religious.
I'm not sure how I feel.
Okay.
I think I'm not really rocking with institutional Catholicism the way that I grew up and was taught it, but I think like if folks still practice and that brings them peace, that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
I think I might still be a little bit like spiritual in a sense of like believing in some kind of higher power, but I'm not sure if it's the same one that I grew up with. Mm-hmm. And also, I have so many other things to worry about in real life that I don't need to think about that right now.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a reasonable approach.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about how like I feel like these like super conservative, more like socially restrictive people don't understand that like when some people are faced with this, like, the two decisions that you were kind of talking about, like dooming my mortal soul in 80 years versus like just like being who I know that I am. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to choose the like obviously correct thing.
Right. Like, what do you
And
expect a
that
12-year-old
drives
to pick in
people-
general? Or
that
anybody?
drives people out of the religion,
Right.
which they don't want, I assume.
Well, who's to say?
Yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So Pinocchio.
Yes.
As we were talking about the religious stuff, I was looking at the art on this single that you've got here,
Yes.
which it's by Kirby Morch.
Yes.
Made this art,
Yes.
and it's got kind of a stained glass look to it, and it's like a drawing of you, and there's kind of like a
Yes.
halo thing around you. So I assume that the background we were just talking about kind of informs the art there.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Yeah.
That was intentional. Kirby is a really, really sweet guy. I met him during Iowa City Pride 2023. I had only played like a couple songs solo at the like as soon as the stage opened up, and I was waiting in line for food at one of the food trucks afterwards, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, and this young trans man came up to me and was like, I saw your set. It was super cool. It is so rare for me to see somebody who looks like myself on stage. I just think you're incredible, and like I would love to like keep up with your work. And and of course I'm there like, oh my god, that's so sweet. Like, yeah, man. But yeah, I met up with him again at the Iowa LGBTQ Archives and Libraries. They hosted a show at Public Space 1 that December that was really about like uplifting local queer artists and things like that. And Kirby happened to also be there. So we connected on Instagram. I found out that he's also a visual artist. So when I was in the process of figuring out how to release Pinocchio, he's the first person I thought of to do the art. So we worked a lot with the kind of like religious iconography and like the traditional paintings and stained glass and things like that. And he just really went hard on the art.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah. And it turned out incredible. So I'm excited to kind of also have the art be made by another trans person as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's listen to Pinocchio.
For sure.
Okay, so fair warning to anyone listening to this who maybe hasn't heard Pinocchio yet, but this song has brought me to tears. So I don't know if it'll happen again right now because I kind of know what to expect, but you know, people out there, you may just brace yourself. All right, here's Pinocchio.
Splinters to lean on. How many strings do I need to cling to just to keep breathing in air that won't take? How many acts do I need to play just to convince you my being here was never a mistake? I have no other existence only to please you. It's no wonder all of the boys had to take me and teach me how to feel. At least someone believes I'm real.
All right, that was Pinocchio by Myles Evangelista. I am not openly weeping,
Openly.
but that bridge does, it makes me well up a little bit still. Like you know which part I'm talking
Oh,
about,
of
right?
course. Yeah.
I know I'm not what you hoped your daughter would grow up to be,
Yes.
etc.
Uh-huh.
But before I get too serious about it, I did just realize the line, all the boys had to take me and teach me how to feel.
Yes.
I mean, that's a direct reference to like Pinocchio
It
and
is.
Pleasure Island, right?
It is, yeah.
I hadn't put that together until just now.
A fun fact about the making of this song is that it exists in part due to the writing program at Iowa, which is interesting because I, as mentioned, am not a writing major.
Right.
But in the engineering program at Iowa, something that they require of all engineering students is to take a one creative course. So that we don't all just grow up to be robots.
Right.
But
yeah,
one of the
they want human engineers.
yeah, exactly. And so, one of the courses that was available was this, creative writing workshop for the musician that I thought was really
Nice,
interesting. Yeah. And so I had started, my first workshop was a work in progress of Pinocchio that was just, a couple verses, and a couple verses in the chorus. And I was struggling to figure out how to end it or how to work with it because I like a verse chorus bridge chorus
Yeah.
type structure, and wasn't sure what direction to take it in, because most of the first verse was pretty much the mood of the rest of the work in progress was just, I'm sad and I'm going to run away type thing.
Sure.
And I have never had my work torn apart and looked under a microscope by English majors before, but it is the scariest and probably the best thing that could have happened to this song, because they were telling me oh, if I'm reading this like a story, I think this is how the narrator feels. Are there any other emotions that they could maybe tap into? Does he need to stay wallowing for the entire time?
Okay.
And so, yeah, after I had, finished being humbled, I really sat down and was like, what more can I do with this? And, yeah, I sort of dug into that sense of, that self-assuredness, that same energy behind either I could stay ashamed or actually just, choose myself
Yeah.
over everything. And so that's where it ended up going. And, this is pretty close to the final version that I submitted for my workshop, and I got full marks. So that's not the most important thing.
This song got a good grade in school,
which is normal to want all of the time and possible to achieve.
Yeah, I really like the Pinocchio thing is such an apt metaphor for being a trans man. I feel like
Yeah.
Are you the first to make this connection?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
Probably not.
But it fits so well, becoming a real boy. It makes so much sense. What was it were you thinking about Pinocchio from the beginning, or was that something that like kind of developed as you developed the song more?
Well, the fun thing about as I was writing this song, it took several months from like first work in progress to like finished product.
Mm-hmm.
And like somewhere in the middle was when I actually came out to my immediate family as trans. So at the beginning when I was writing it, it was mostly just writing about feeling like academic burnout and the need to like prove myself to
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever system was in place there.
Trying to get a good grade in your song.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, somewhere in the middle is when I came out to my immediate family, and at the time they were a little bit resistant to change, which isn't their fault. It's, my parents are both, from the Philippines, which is a very Catholic country due
Right.
to just like the lingering effects of Spanish colonization. And it just wasn't something that they were used to seeing or interacting with when they were growing up. And so I was living at home with them at the time, and we would butt heads constantly. And there was a time where, I just didn't want to argue, and I moved out of the house and with my older sister, who is also transgender,
Okay.
which is funny in its own right. I kept trying to tell them, like, you still have a son and a daughter. We just did the little switcheroo, right? But
The net zero. Everything stayed the same.
they
basically.
find it funnier now than they did then, I will say. But, yeah, the bridge, is tied to, kind of the, also sticking it to, the way that like a Catholic environment and like the Catholic school environment expected me to end up, but also just really came from, I don't know, that kind of like place of hurt that I felt.
There's some
at the
hard
time.
Feelings in that bridge. Yeah.
There were,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm happy to say that like after years, like my parents have been really putting in the work, and they're some of my biggest supporters. They're some of my biggest fans. They came to watch me at Mission Creek.
Yeah.
The first time that I played live with the trio. And I remember very clearly, we got to Pinocchio, and and I remember thinking like, oh, I just gotta get to the bridge and get through the bridge and we'll be fine. And I remember looking out from the stage, and it's like the crowd had parted perfectly to where I could just see like in through this gap in the crowd, my parents sitting at one of the tables in Trumpet Blossom and just like watching me like full rapt attention. I cried on stage.
Yeah.
I did.
You have to sing this making eye contact with your parents.
I couldn't make eye contact with them. Just seeing that they were looking at me, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But,
Jesus. Challenging, performance environment.
it was, but, we haven't talked about it, and honestly, we don't need to. Cause I think, after years, like they're really, they've really found their stride, and I'm really, really proud to see like where they've come from and how, cause adjusting from like the environment that raised you and like is so difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, love my parents, love my folks.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Let's shift gears to something a little less serious. I've been looking at your shirt the whole time.
Oh, yeah?
Let me just read what's on there.
Please.
Beloved indie sweetheart June Henry hit me with a lead pipe, and it hurt really bad, but I still bought this t-shirt from her.
This is a true story. It's not a true story.
Yeah, June Henry. I'm not sure I know who that even is. I'm a little out of touch.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
June Henry is I don't know if I should call her like emo folk artist, but
from Lawrence, Kansas. That's a cool place to be from.
Yeah, she played in my hometown in Peoria back in May, because she was touring with another, I guess like getting into mainstream folk artist, Olive Klug.
Mm-hmm.
And my girlfriend's band, Emily the Band, they're, indie pop out of Peoria, but they had gone to Kansas City sometime in the spring. I don't remember when, but they went to Kansas City for Folk Alliance, which is the folk music conference that happens yearly, and met Olive Klug. And then a few months later, got asked by Olive Klug if they would play with them on tour. And so I came down for that show because because my girlfriend is also, an independent musician, we have a really good like barter system going where, she designs the merchandise that I sell at my shows, and then I sell her merch at her shows.
Right.
So I went down to, do my job, and, June Henry is just a really cool, really funny individual. You would think that they were just up there doing like a tight five interspliced with like the most heartbreaking songs you've ever heard. But
that's cool. I like the sort of whiplash between like funny and devastating.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Absolutely. But yeah, their set was just them and an acoustic guitar, and she was just super cool. It was in a very intimate setting. The venue was Third Chance Bar and Lounge in Peoria, and it's a really intimate listening environment, and then the whole room would just go silent when she was playing. And like the songs are maybe like 2 or 3 minutes maximum. Yeah. But yeah, she really can just command a crowd effortlessly. It was so cool. And she was just so nice to talk to as well.
I pulled up her Bandcamp to see if she has that shirt available on there. It's not for sale on the Bandcamp, which is
bummer.
junehen.bandcamp.com. But since you were talking so much about her songs, she's got a single called Sega Dreamcast, which is like extremely appealing to me.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know if that's one that I've listened to, but I think we should get into it.
Yeah, let's check it out. This is Sega Dreamcast by June Henry. And just so you know, Myles, that right there, that's a Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, that is dope. I was admiring your video game console collection from here. But yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so we're listening to Sega Dreamcast in the presence of a Sega Dreamcast by June Henry.
Sweat the sickness out. My phone map still auto routes to that goddamn house. Thank God I don't wanna go right now. Maybe one day I can leave without exploding a bridge, but I know I'd be running right back over it and into those arms again. I still reminisce about that awful room, the futon on the wall and all the bugs that flew around my body. Well, I gave myself to what I thought forever would be, and it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Day left me stranded at the nudist camp. Emotional abandonment, the camper van. The tattoos that you gave yourself and blamed me for. Sonic hedgehog bedsheets on the filthy floor. The time that we saw Blade in the rain, what a show. The way that you forgot when I tried to tell you no. The times that I would hold you cause you made me bleed. My high school graduation heard you cheering from the bleachers. You were the worst, but at least you seem to want to have a life with me.
Nice. Sega Dreamcast by June Henry. Looks like that's also on her album, The Exhumation of Princess Pavement. So if you want more songs, looks like there's 14 tracks on that, in addition to Sega Dreamcast. Heard something about Sonic Hedgehog bedsheets, so
Sonic Hedgehog bed sheets on the filthy floor, which I love. I know there is mixed feelings in the music industry about like artists making songs that are like the downside of writing songs that are like too personal or too niche, or that they're not going to be relatable to everybody who listens, like it might alienate your audience, which me personally, I've never witnessed or like been with somebody who has Sonic bed sheets. But it's just as compelling to me because I don't know, I just love something that's so detailed like that, where like you can tell like, I don't know, the nuance behind it. I love super niche lyrics, even if I'm never gonna get it.
She was putting the picture in our heads.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely effective. I mean, I would be the person who has the Sonic the Hedgehog bed sheets, so I was sort of seeing it from the other side.
I see.
Okay, let's see. We've been going for 55 minutes, so we should probably start thinking about how we want to end this conversation. I've got the Two Canes Bandcamp pulled up, which is another band that you have been a part of, and I've also got your newer stuff. So I think maybe we should listen to one of the newer things, talk about that for a minute, and then maybe we could end the whole hour with like the Two Canes single.
That would be so funny considering the difference between Myles Evangelista and Two Canes sonically, but I am all for it.
Okay. So you have given me access to some pre-release stuff here, stuff that you're still working on with Dan Miller, right?
Yes.
And this is for an EP that you plan to release.
It is.
I hope.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's still, the finishing touches that need to go on. Maybe some other parts that need to be added in a place or two. But I'm hoping to have it out before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Good. And I've got, looks like 5 songs here that, I have access to. I know one of the good ones. I'm not sure if I know the others. Do you have a favorite out of these?
I would recommend Just Between Us, just because I think that's probably going to be the next single for the EP.
Okay, cool. So, you're going to hear it here before it's released as a single if you're listening to this podcast. But, how do you want to preface this? What's Just Between Us about?
Just Between Us is the fun side about growing up queer and Catholic, in that I turned all of my straight friends a little bit gay.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is more of a more like fun-spirited look at that.
Yeah,
okay.
The playful side of it, yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That'll be a good contrast with some of the sadder stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so this is Just Between Us. Look forward to it as a single, maybe, and as part of this EP, definitely, hopefully by the end of the year.
Yes.
Just Between Us.
I'm not yours, and you're not mine. But if we end up that way, that's fine. 'Cause I'm not one for serious, but I'm one to make you curious. So take your chance, take your time. Either way you go, you know that I'm just gonna wait around and see how this scene plays. But I could be the best mistake you've ever made. I'll keep it hush, I won't tell a soul. You can hold your touch and hide your blush, but your act is getting old. I'll let you stare, you'll let me deep under your skin. We can keep it just between us as your favorite little sin. How did you go from so cold to your head on my shoulder? 'Cause you're always so serious, but now you're oh so curious. What's got you flustered, got you red? Did you miss my space touch and hide your blush, but your act is getting old. I'll let you sit. You'll let me deep under your skin. We can keep it just between us as your favorite little sin. And oh, I know forever isn't on your mind. I know better if you weren't wasting all your lines on me. Go ahead and get defensive for your friends, but we both know you wish I'm in your dreams again. But I'll keep it hard, I won't tell a soul. You can hold your touch and hide your blush, but your act is getting old. I'll let you sit. You'll let me deep under your skin. We can keep it just between us as your favorite little sin. Oh, I know forever isn't on your mind. It's not on your mind. I know better if you weren't wasting all your words on lines. Go ahead, oh go ahead. We can keep it just between us as your favorite little sin.
Just Between Us by Myles Evangelista. Not available yet. This is, well, if you haven't seen Mars live, this is probably the first time you've heard it. But as soon as that melody started, I realized, oh, I know this song.
Yes. It was affectionately originally named just Gay Awakening, question mark, at the suggestion of one of my dear friends in the Champaign-Urbana, Illinois music scene, Daniel Wachtel, aka Deathcore Dan, who is a very talented deathcore vocalist.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's a very fun song. Like, yeah, very, I think that's single worthy. You said it might be a single, I think.
Dope.
I
It
think
will
it's a good
definitely
one.
be a
Yeah.
single. It's just a matter
catchy.
of when.
Yeah, yeah. What else you got planned for that upcoming EP or anything? Like, what kind of stuff do you want to plug as we're wrapping up?
Well, I don't know. When's this come out?
I'll probably put this out on like Wednesday of this week.
Great.
A couple days from now.
Then on Thursday of this week will be my last show as an Iowa City resident in Iowa City. I will be playing a quick solo set with CM, who is touring from Minneapolis, I believe, but it's the lineup will be Bella Moss, me, Early Girl, and CM. All solo sets, all about half an
cool.
hour.
Yeah.
At Gabe's. Again, this Thursday, July 25.
That's right. Maybe I'll put this out tomorrow just to give people a little more time.
Word. All right. Then that will be the tail end of this week. And then August 3rd, which is a Saturday, we will be making our return to the Chicagoland area, playing at Core Cottage in Elgin, Illinois.
Okay.
Supporting Virginia's Basement on tour. They will be in Iowa City the night before if you would rather not drive to Chicago.
Yeah, but you will be missing from that show.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But by that point, I will have migrated to my new place of residence in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do one of these with you for a while, but when I found out you were leaving, it's like, oh shit, I got a deadline now.
Yeah, that's my bad.
How dare you leave Iowa City?
I know.
I forgot to ask you, we were just listening to Just Between Us. Who played on that one?
That is Chloe Weidel on the drums again and Logan Ka on the bass. That's me on guitar, desperately trying to figure out how to write guitar parts because I did not start music playing guitar, but I am trying my best and I hope that comes through.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we mentioned Logan.
Oh, absolutely.
Logan rocks.
My dear friend Logan, he's currently in St. Charles, Iowa, prepping for
Oh, yeah.
Hinterland.
Right.
Yeah, they shipped him out early there, but yeah, since Paris had to take a step away from the band and focus on their academics and the other projects that they're in, Logan has so kindly stepped up to fill in, and he's been a lovely addition to the trio sound, in addition to just being a really, really good friend of mine. So
Yeah.
that's
And
my man.
He learned bass for you, right?
He was in the process of learning bass already, but
Okay.
I think he might have, for the record, I never pressured him to like learn it faster, but I do think he did, it did accelerate,
Cool.
the rate at which he was learning bass. And he's, I mean, at that rate, he's just like been an incredible fast learner, great bassist as well.
Yeah, he's great. You're lucky to have him, I think.
I also think so.
And I don't want to, extend this too long, but you said you didn't start as a guitar player.
No,
What
I
is
didn't.
your musical background?
I started as I guess I started singing first, which, and I've talked about this in past interviews as well, but an integral part of Filipino culture is the at-home karaoke machine.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I started singing just by, doing karaoke at home, and then, I learned piano from a young age, classically trained in piano, and I've lost my touch now since it's hard to bring a piano or a keyboard everywhere I go. But, that did help me a lot when I was like starting to learn like music theory and
yeah.
things like that, easier to apply to other instruments. I was in concert band from grade school until high school, and marching band from grade school until college.
Yeah, I think I've seen you play like mellophone, right?
Yes,
Okay,
mellophone
cool.
in the marching band.
Yeah.
I started on French horn in concert band. Somewhere in junior high, I also picked up acoustic guitar and electric bass. Yeah, very, very quickly learning how different electric guitar is from acoustic guitar, mostly at the help and the very friendly bullying of Erin Longoria from Early Girl. But yeah, she's incredible mentor in that way. Erin is.
Right on.
Yeah.
On. Speaking of singing,
Yes,
I did mention I want to put this at the very end, Mouth Shut by Two Canes.
by all means.
A band that you were the vocalist for. The band's a little
Yeah, it's
kinda
hard because
hiatus
we're all
grounds right
going to
now.
be in
Yeah.
in different states very shortly.
Right.
But yeah, I was the vocalist for Two Canes. I got asked on by Chloe Weidel and her brother Evan Weidel, who is one of two guitarists in the band, and that was and is still a really fun project. They just give me a mic and I get up on stage and I scream for half an hour
Yes.
and then I leave. But yeah, great group of folks to get to work with, and really, really talented musicians all in their own right.
Yeah, and this is like a little bit heavier than your solo trio stuff that we were just listening to, right?
Just a little bit heavier.
And the art for the single is like a photo of Kurt Cobain with a black rectangle over his mouth.
Believe it or not, that is not Kurt Cobain. It is Evan Weidel
No
himself.
fucking way.
It is.
I
It
thought the
is.
whole time that it was like, okay, yeah, wow.
Yeah, it
Is he like
a-
intentionally modeling?
No, it was
Oh
just
my
a picture that our friend Cooper Harrison got. We were playing a show at Gabe's with Sophie Mitchell, and yeah, Cooper offered to take photos of us. So then when it came time to release the single, we were like, so it needs to be that picture of Evan, right? And yeah, Chloe edited it and uploaded the art that way, and now everyone thinks he's Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I've only seen it like, small. I hadn't actually like looked closer.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, so this will be the last thing people hear. So, is there anything you want to say to like preface Mouth Shut before they hear it and we say goodbye?
Yeah, well, I wrote it about, I wrote it as a warning shot to keep creeps and weirdos very, very far away from all of the shows that Two Canes plays.
Okay, cool. Sort of a Nazi punks fuck off type
Yeah,
of song.
pretty much. And basically just like, if you act up in front of me, don't expect me to just keep quiet about it. Hence, it's called Mouth Shut, but it's the opposite of me doing that.
Yeah.
So, Two Canes.
Yeah, it's can't keep my mouth shut. It's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming over, Myles.
Thank you for having me. This has been a blast.
great chat. Again, I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm glad that we got the chance before you leave.
For sure. I'm honored. I'm happy to be on the radio with you again.
Hell yeah. Unfortunately, it's not live radio this time, but fortunately, that means I can get away with, I said fuck a couple minutes ago. We're not going to get in trouble with the FEC or FCC. FCC.
I don't know. That's probably right.
Yeah, FCC, that's communications. FEC is elections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
And
probably the FCC.
Yeah, I'm sort of an enemy of both, so I mix them up in my head. All right, well, that'll be it for iHearIC Radio episode 134. Go check out Myles' music, Mars Ohelia, the 2 Kane singles also up on Bandcamp. And we also listened to June Henry. You should check her stuff out, too. I like that song.
Absolutely.
And again, Mouth Shut by 2 Canes is closing us out today. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
You think you're so smooth, sweet talker like the sucker you are. Your reputation precedes you. Probably why you're banned from every town in the bar. Mayday! I heard it's payday. Pockets looking fat from doing jack shit all day. Dirty work so someone else can get it while you sit back